Hey guys, welcome back to some more astrology. Today we're going to be talking about the sign of Scorpio. Ugh. I can get this thing to stay there. Scorpio. From October 23rd to November 21st. Scorpio is the 8th sign of the zodiac and the second water sign after Cancer. Weighty and intense Scorpio is ruled by the dark planet Pluto. With Mars as its co-ruler, it shares certain aggressive characteristics with Aries, but is more fixed in its orientation. Scorpio symbolically demonstrates the power of middle age and a corresponding ability to direct and control the life around it. The defensive Scorpio is not only symbol for this sign, or it's not the only symbol for this sign. The soaring eagle also represents its far-seeing nature and also its capacity to both ascend to the heights and plummet to the depths. And you see that in the tarot as well. In the world card, for example, the four corners of the world card shows all fixed signs. And the Scorpio is an eagle, and then you have Leo and Taurus, and then you have Aquarius, which is the person. Scorpio has the capacity to shun human contact if it wishes and deal with serious matters in a purposeful fashion. Pluto grants volcanic, sexual energies, as well as an insight into the mysteries of metamorphosis and transformation. Scorpio can be seen as an evolutionary stage between Libra and Sagittarius that transmutes gracious social and diplomatic energies into philosophical, changeable, and fiery ones. The Scorpio personality. If Scorpio is taken to represent the 8th period of life, then that would be from ages 49 to 56. The Scorpio personality can be likened to the onset of middle age and the individual's attempt to achieve full power within social roles. This may involve being a dominant force in the family and workplace, or reaching the summit of one's creative achievement. The rulership of Pluto emphasizes the powerful, sexual, dark, fateful, and deep aspects of Scorpios, while the co-ruler Mars lends dynamism and directness, but perhaps also belligerence. Scorpios are often serious people, and those who have felt their sting know that they are not easily ignored. However, they usually do not seek confrontation, but rather keep their weapons in reserve to be used in self-defense. No other sign has been more maligned than Scorpio, and indeed many Scorpios have been unfairly labeled as treacherous, underhanded, or oversexed. In fact, Scorpios do have an intimate connection with the world of the unconscious. Furthermore, the themes of death and rebirth play a dynamic part in their lives. Many Scorpios seem to undergo an arduous, sometimes agonized process of transformation and metamorphosis in their personality. Generally speaking, Scorpios carry with them an instinctive understanding of the high seriousness and tragic nature of life. Therefore, they are very suspicious of Pollyanna philosophies, undue optimism, and superficial attitudes or glitter. On the other hand, they usually have an excellent sense of humor and show a mature understanding of the ironies of life. They must beware, more than most, of tendencies towards self-destruction and overly controlling behavior, addiction, and in general, an inability to relinquish attachments of all sorts, whether it's to people or ideas. And the thing that comes to mind is that when you see a scorpion, it will sting itself to death if you if it knows it's going to die, it will sting itself to death. Like you spray it or something. Yeah, I think pretty much everyone knows that, but that's what comes to mind. So element is water, obviously. Quality is fixed. Ruler's Pluto. The symbol, the scorpion. Mode is feeling. And the motto is, I control. Periods within Scorpio. We have the Libra-Scorpio cusp, which is from October 23rd to the 25th. That is the image of drama and criticism. And then the first decan of Scorpio is from October 26th to November 2nd, and that is the image of intensity. The second decan of Scorpio is from November 3rd to the 11th, and that is the image of depth. The third decan of Scorpio is from November 12th to 18th, and that is the image of charm. The Scorpio-Sagittarius cusp is from November 19th to the 21st, and that is the image of revolution. Some Scorpio stones and uses. The ruby supports inner faith and courage needed to face the world. And then the garnet balances the sexual drives. That's interesting. I think the garnet is also an Aquarian stone as well. Or maybe it's just the January birthstone. I don't know. Carnelian keeps one's feet on the ground. And then the black pearl grants calm and solace in troubled times. Some Scorpio colors, black, blood red, and charcoal gray. Some Scorpio body areas, the nose, the genitals, blood, the urethra, and the bladder. Some Scorpio keys, D minor and C sharp minor. Like the Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven. Yeah. That's the kind of sounds I like too, where it's like, it takes you into like this deep, like hypnotic state in a way, where you're drifting off into the void. That's what it sounds like. Those chords, or the keys. Scorpio plants, root vegetables, black poppy, and hemlock. Some Scorpio grasses and vines. October 23rd to the 27th is the ivy. And October 28th to November 21st is the reed. Some Scorpio attractions are to Capricorn, Leo, believe it or not. Yes, it's true. And Pisces. So you would never think that a Scorpio would be attracted to a Leo because they're more like, never mind. Scorpio notables, Pablo Picasso, Hillary Rodham Clinton. That kind of makes sense, yeah. Theodore Roosevelt, Whoopi Goldberg, Sun Yat-sen, Georgia O'Keeffe, Diego Maradona, Maxine Hong Kingston, Edmund Halley, yeah, Naomi Mitchison. And that is the generalized description of the sign of Scorpio. And now we are on the first decan of Scorpio. The first decan of Scorpio is from October 26th to November 2nd. The zodiac position is approximately from 1 degrees to 11 degrees of Scorpio. The central image is intensity. The season is mid-fall. Element is water. Quality is fixed. And the ruler is Pluto, but also co-ruler Mars. The symbol, the scorpion. The mode is feeling. The first decan of Scorpio takes intensity as its central image. According to the grand cycle of life, this period can be likened to the onset of middle age, when the power of an individual begins to fully emerge, to peak at some future point in the years of the 50s or early 60s. In the Scorpio 1 period, the ability to take control, to effectively husband and exert one's powers over the environment, to subdue wayward elements to one's will, are manifested. The days which comprise Scorpio 1 illustrate the underlying theme of intensity and the accompanying capacity to formulate, guide, and finally transform unpolished materials creatively and efficiently into highly valuable and viable entities. Though biological drives may be lessened or eliminated by this time of life, sexual or romantic expression is not necessarily diminished in importance. Many even report feelings of a greater intensity that are more measured and directed and less diffuse or unstable. The Scorpio 1 personality. Scorpio 1 people are very intense. Once they get their teeth into something, they do not easily let go. Nor do they specialize in compromise. Although they may be referred to as sunny Scorpios, usually not as emotionally dark as others of this sign anyway, those born in this period are nonetheless attracted to tragedy and know what it is to suffer. Scorpio 1s usually have an immediate feeling for whether someone is likely to be a friend or a foe. Oh my gosh, I hope this is not getting in the way. There we go. A general sense of discrimination that stands them in good stead. They can be quite combative toward their opponents, giving no quarter in an argument or dispute. Yet most of their aggression is unleashed from a defensive posture, and they are smart enough to walk away from confrontations that are senseless or place them at a serious disadvantage. By the same token, these warriors, men and women, rarely waste their energies on lesser opponents. Using their charm with great effect is characteristic of Scorpio 1s. They have an excellent sense of humor, but can sometimes employ it devastatingly at another person's expense. Indeed, those born in Scorpio 1 make terrible teasers, and if they decide that they want to get under a victim's skin, can be at once unmerciful and unrelenting. Scorpio 1s usually have a strict code, hopefully moral rather than immoral, to which they adhere. They are very interested in motives, often deeming it more important to know why something was done rather than judging an endeavor or action by its outcome alone. Thus, a false move will be forgiven by a Scorpio 1 more readily than an impure motive. Scorpio 1s scorn petty or underhanded actions, and despise success achieved through deceit. Furthermore, they show little interest in apologies and excuses, unless truly sincere and not overly frequent. Where work is concerned, those born in this period tend to be unimpressed by quantity alone, focusing on the quality of services and products. In like manner, they themselves are capable of working very slowly for long periods of time in order to achieve their ends. Some advice for Scorpio 1s: supply the same constancy you expect from others, but also be less hard on yourself when it comes to mistakes. If at all possible, try to both forgive and forget. Leave excess baggage behind. The injuries of the past can be too heavy for anyone to bear, even you. Some Scorpio 1 notables: Hillary Clinton, Francois Mitterrand, Sylvia Plath, Theodore Roosevelt, Julia Roberts, Fanny Brice, Paul Joseph Goebbels, Grace Slick, Christopher Columbus, Ethel Waters, John Keats, Naomi Mitchison, Marie Antoinette. I did not know that. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Well, she did have a very provocative kind of reputation, right? Many suitors or something. All right, so now we're on to the second decan of Scorpio. That is from November 3rd to 11th. And it's approximately from 10 to 20 degrees of Scorpio. The central image is depth, and the season is mid-fall, element water, quality fixed, and the ruler is Pluto, co-ruler Mars, symbol the scorpion, and mode is feeling. The second decan of Scorpio takes depth as its central image. This period can be likened symbolically to the time in a middle-aged individual's life when deeper areas of the personality make their demands, and a new profound source of power may be uncovered. In the Scorpio 2 period, contact is made with unconscious and chthonic forces capable of affecting transformative changes in a person. So the days which comprise Scorpio 2 symbolically reveal the more serious side of human life and the ability to go beyond ordinary experience through a revelation, metamorphosis, and probing of the internal and external world. As when oil is struck and a geyser explodes, tremendous energies can be released from the deeper layers of the unconscious. Such energies must, of course, be well directed, or destruction could easily result. Ideally, powerful new insights may result at this time. The Scorpio 2 personality. Scorpio 2 people are profound individuals who are in touch with the dark side of life. Generally, Scorpio 2s are not in a big hurry. They generally feel that time is on their side and are thus able to wait. Metamorphic change may be effected in themselves and their lives over many years, slowly and unseen. However, those born in Scorpio 2 must be careful that waiting for the right moment does not itself become the principal activity, a kind of procrastination. The danger here is that such static behavior will lead to brooding, and brooding to depression. During such periods, Scorpio 2s must beware that their dark side does not come to dominate their outlook. It could be said that Scorpio 2s have a big advantage in that they are in touch with deep areas of their personalities, which others may only sense occasionally, if at all. Whether a Scorpio 2 makes something out of this understanding remains to be seen. Part of the problem is that although in touch with their deeper thoughts, imaginings, and emotions, some Scorpio 2s never come to terms with their own profundity. That is, they are confused as to how their deeper understanding of life fits in with the ordinary life, making a living, and so on. Furthermore, dredging up such material from the unconscious can't be dangerous business, or can be. It can be dangerous business and threaten to push more unstable personalities over the edge. For Scorpio 2s to find a healthy balance, a give and take with their plutonic self is a tremendous challenge, but one that can yield valuable results. Scorpio 2s respond instinctively to the heavier aspects of the human condition. Not only do they tend to sleep more deeply than most people, but also feel more deeply as well. Indeed, some born in Scorpio 2 can become slaves to the pleasures of the table and the bed, and must be careful that such activities do not come to dominate their lives. I'm assuming you guys know what that means. For Scorpio 2s, words often just get in the way. Many born in this period can effectively express admiration or affection, or on the other hand, disapproval and discontent without needing to speak at all. Some advice for Scorpio 2s: let the sun shine in and the light within you shine out. Don't take things so seriously. Work on leveling out your moods and see how much happiness you can bring to yourself and others. Put your singular insight to productive use. Learn to laugh more at the illusions of the world and also at yourself. Some Scorpio 2 notables: Roseanne Barr. You know the show Roseanne? I freaking love her. She's so funny. And I feel like as she ages, she gets more youthful looking. Like it seems like she hasn't aged at all. And she's really funny. Pauline Tregear, Sam Shepard, Vivian Leigh, John Philip Sousa, Joni Mitchell, Leon Trotsky, Herman Rorschach, Margaret Mitchell, Donna Fargo, Phoebe Anderson. And now we're on to the third decan of Scorpio, which is approximately from 19 to 27 degrees of Scorpio. The central image is charm. The season is mid-fall, element is water, qualities fixed, rulers Pluto, and co-ruler is Mars. The symbol is the scorpion, and mode is feeling. Scorpio 3s takes charm as its central image. This period can be compared in human terms to the time in a middle-aged person's life when the ability to influence others through magnetic and charismatic powers is heightened. In the Scorpio 3 period, intense emotion may be used with telling effect to gain positive and constructive results, but equally well may be expended in furthering egotistical and narcissistic ends. The days which comprise Scorpio 3 symbolically reveal the attractive powers of the middle-aged adult and the ability to forward aims, but also gain satisfaction through investigation, observation, seductive charm, and a judicious use of leadership skills. Expressive emotions may be directed constructively as a powerful tool for inspiring others, but should not be exercised as a controlling mechanism. Instead, by gaining the trust of coworkers, employees, or clients, an emotional bond can be formed, which promotes success for all concerned. The Scorpio 3 personality. Scorpio 3 people tend to be highly magnetic, sensual, and charming. Thus, the responsibility of those born in this period toward their fellow human beings is very great, though they do not always realize this fact. Should their ethical orientation be less than admirable, they are likely to selfishly use others to further their own ends and perhaps do great damage. Thus, clarifying a healthy working philosophy or moral stance, which asserts human values and respects the wishes of others, is an essential task for Scorpio 3s from the outset. Many born in this period seek to be the boss or leader, whether at home or at work. In most respects, they are well qualified for such positions of responsibility. Usually, Scorpio 3 bosses are in touch with the emotional needs of those they command, and although they may be highly demanding, they can usually impose rules and delegate responsibilities in an objective fashion which can be easily accepted. Scorpio 3s have a highly developed sensuality which not only tends to attract others, but leads them to seek out a variety of physically satisfying experiences. Spoiling themselves can become a way of life for those born in the Scorpio 3 period, Particularly satisfying for them are the pleasures of vacations and travel, where the experiencing of newfound joys can figure prominently. The inner stability of Scorpio 3s is usually so great that it seems it would take an earthquake to knock them off balance. Part of the reason for this is self-control. Another part, a realistic assessment of their capabilities, which keeps them from venturing beyond their limitations. On the other hand, Scorpio 3s may have to remind themselves from time to take more chances, to truly dare to fail, and thus be able to reach new heights. Perhaps the people who have the strongest influence on Scorpio 3s are those who are less under their sway, less bowled over their charm. Bowled, bowling. Swayed, I would say. Yeah, less swayed by their charm and magnetic qualities. Indeed, Scorpio 3s need at least one good friend who could furnish honest, objective advice and criticism. Some advice for Scorpio 3s: keep a critical eye on yourself, respond to the highest challenges, and occasionally take meaningful risks. Be mindful of what is important in life, of what endures and holds lasting value. Always aim high and don't be afraid of failure. Some Scorpio 3 notables: Grace Kelly, Neil Young, Jean Seberg, Barbara Hutton, Claude Monet, Georgia O'Keeffe, General Erwin Rommel, Lisa Bonet, Danny DeVito, Eugene Ormandy. And that is all about Scorpio. Hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys liked the theme to go with the sign. Decided to kind of switch it up and try something new. So, yeah. All right. Until the next sign. Peace out.